Hello, welcome back. It's so good to see you. So, today is the channel's 5-year anniversary. 5 years. Can you believe it? Oh my goodness. Like, I can't. The time has just flown by. So, obviously, today's video is the channel-versary, channel anniversary, whatever. And typically when I make these videos, I usually eat like some type of fast food type of thing. But I don't want to do that. I did have plans to like DoorDash some breakfast food or something here, but I don't know. I'm not into like the heavy type of food right now. I'll explain why in a little bit. So what do I have to eat? Frozen grapes. I know. Will I eat them all? Probably not, just because I'll be distracted. Why am I going to be distracted? Because I'm going to be answering your questions. I put up a community post or something like that. I don't know what it's called. Where I told you if you have any questions, leave a message in the comments or whatever. And then I also told you to, if you aren't comfortable with that, just go over to Instagram and you can submit your questions there. And I am surprised, after 5 years, and I've said this for like the last 3 years, am I really gonna get questions? Really? Because like, I tell you everything, so, but I like to give people the opportunity because I get new subscribers all the time, and not everybody watches every single video, although you totally should, because if you know me, you know I'm going to be talking about the most random things in every video that's completely off topic of whatever the video is, because that's just how my brain goes, so I do have my phone with the questions all compiled, so that I won't have to go back and forth. But I do want to say that I am so thankful. I'm so thankful for you, my subscribers and my non-subscribers, because over half the people that watch my videos aren't subscribed. What's wrong? Why are you subscribed? But still, you take time out of your day to spend with me, and that is amazing, I think. So thank you for being here and supporting me, because you have really helped me. Like, just think about where we were 5 years ago. My life is completely different, and you've been with me every step of the way, and you've always been so supportive, and at times I really needed that, so thank you. Okay, all right, so let's see. I'm trying to read at the same time as think, Okay, first of all, let me show you these grapes. Like, this is the biggest grape I've ever seen. Hold on a second. I might have to pause, like, I'm still making sure it's recording. I might have to pause randomly because I have a cough, and my son was just recently sick. Hold on. And I think I'm getting sick. Not good. So I'm gonna have to cough like repeatedly through the video, and I apologize for that. Look at this massive grape. They were all huge. I'm like, what is this? I don't know. They're supposed to be seedless, but come on. Is this one gonna be seedless? I don't know. This is like one of my favorite snacks. Frozen grapes. It's like a dessert. It's like a dessert. If you've never had frozen grapes, go buy some grapes. Wash them. Freeze them. They're the best. My kids love them too. But it's like, I'm not shoving this whole thing in my mouth because my mouth will freeze, you know? Okay. I'm just making sure that it's still recording. Okay. Most of the questions were really just people wanting a life update. They want to know what's going on with me, the kids, that kind of thing. Which I realized that I haven't really given you one in a while, and a lot of people have been asking me for a while to do like a snack time, chat time, ramble, hang out with me video. And we haven't done one of those in a long time. I mean, obviously we're doing one now, but we haven't done one in a very long time. So I'm thinking maybe I can incorporate that more, like maybe at least once a month. We can sit down, have lunch together, or have a snack, or just hang out where I tell you what's going on. Because when I say a lot of people wanted to know, that was the majority of the questions. So I am going to give you a live update, answer your questions and stuff like that. But yeah. Let me know if you want more sit down, ramble, hangout videos. Okay. I talk about this every year, but again, it was asked, so I'm assuming it's probably from like the newer subscribees. But I'll answer it, even though I answer it every year. Not everybody watches every video, right? So, okay. What is your ASMR story? And then there are sub questions like, how did you get into ASMR? What made you want to start your channel? Your first experience with ASMR, and when did you discover the ASMR community? That's a lot of questions. But I like knowing that about other ASMR people too, so. Okay. My first ASMR experience, I didn't know that it was ASMR. I don't think that ASMR existed back in the day. I mean, it obviously did, but I don't think there was a name for it. I don't know. I don't know the history of ASMR, so. But it was in 3rd grade. And oddly enough, it was in math class, okay? I freaking hate math. But my 3rd grade teacher, who is probably one of my favorite teachers, Miss Davis, I didn't know how to do some type of math or whatever. Shocking. I know, right? But I had raised my hand and was like, I need help. And I think everybody was like working on an assignment or a test or something like that. And she came over and she didn't want to disturb the other students. So she got like right here. And she was leaning over my leaning over my shoulder, my brain, and she had her arm over and she was helping show the example of whatever the math was, and she was whispering it, and I don't remember what the problem was. I don't remember what the example was or whatever. I just remember I really liked that. It like literally gave me tingles all over my body. I was like, whoa, I like this. I don't know what it was at the time, and I didn't really experience it too much after that, but that was the first like time that I ever experienced ASMR. How did I get into ASMR? What made you want to start your channel? And how did you discover the community? Okay, it was completely by accident that I discovered the community. It was probably like 7 or 8 years ago. So I don't know. I think it was over the summer or something, and it was just boring, you know. Like, I think my son was asleep, taking his nap. My daughter was watching whatever show she was watching. And I've always liked Dollar Tree. I love it because they've got such cute decor, and everything used to be $1, you know. But I like Dollar Tree. And so I was looking up, like, I know this is shocking, Dollar Tree seasonal shop with me videos. And I kept coming across this one where this lady would go shopping in the store, but it was like, I don't know, it just kind of like put me in a trance, and I really liked the videos. And then every once in a while she would do shopping hauls, and I liked the Dollar Tree shop with me's, so I subscribed to her channel. And then she would do like what she bought at Dollar Tree and stuff. That's how I found the ASMR community. Like, what? But the channel, the lady who was doing this was Mary from Southern ASMR Sounds. So you understand. She's one of the best. One of the best. But I found ASMR through Dollar Tree and Mary. And then, because I subscribed specifically for those videos, I started seeing her other videos and like her role plays and stuff, and I was like, what is this, you know? And so I watched one, and she is so funny. She's so funny, and I absolutely loved it. And she had so many like different videos, like things I didn't even know were a thing, you know. But I ended up watching more and more of her videos until I was watching every single video that she came out with every single day. And at the time I was married, and whenever she would do her like Dollar Tree hauls and stuff, I loved it. I wanted to see what she bought, you know. And I'm like, this is so funny because I do the same thing. Whenever I go to Dollar Tree or I go shopping or whatever, I come home and I have a like, or I had a shopping haul show and tell to my husband. I was doing this already, but I just had an audience of one, right? And I don't know if he liked that I did that, but I was so excited about the things that I bought that I had to share it with him, you know. I don't know. He acted like he cared, but who knows, you know. Anyway, so after like a few years of watching her, I would always watch her anniversary videos because I just really liked them. And one year, she always tells her ASMR story, you know. But one year she was like, you should do this, you know, like if you're thinking about it, just do it. Just record one video and you'll know if you like it or you don't like it or whatever. And she's like, who cares what other people think, you know? If you want to do it, then do it, you know? And she has no idea, but she actually affected me because I was thinking about starting my own channel, but I had kept it secret. And I never told anyone. I didn't even tell my husband. So I was like, okay, if I do want to do this, I need to come out with at least 5 videos before I make the channel. So like, if you go to my channel and the, you know, like the description or whatever, it says joined like January 29th or something like that, or 26th. I don't know. It was something in January, but I didn't upload any videos until February 2nd. Because I wanted to have at least 5 videos up there. So if somebody liked the video, they could see what else I had going on, right? So the very first video, at least I think the very first video that I recorded was a Dollar Tree shopping haul. And it was for Valentine's Day. It's awful. Don't watch it. I was terrified. I don't know. I guess because I wasn't used to talking to myself to a camera. I'm used to talking to myself because I talk to myself all the time. But knowing that somebody else would see me talking to myself, like, that was just weird. But I took Mary's advice and I recorded the video, and then I was like, wow, I do like this. Let me see what else I can come up with, and I just continued to record, and I just haven't stopped, and it's 5 years later now. So yeah, I think that answers the question. I don't know. Okay, how did you come up with your channel name? Chemosin ASMR or Chemosin ASMR, depending on how you want to say it. I've always had the name Chemosin in my mind because it is my name and my sister's name mixed together. And I know you're like, what? But your name's Tina. I know. But ever since I was like born, my sister has always called me Chemo. To this day, I am Chemo. And some people were like, did you have cancer or something? No. She called me Chemo because, I don't know. I think there was this show, like way back in the day, The Lone Ranger or something like that. I don't know. I've never actually seen the show. But there was one character that was called Kimosabi. And so my full name is Kimosabi. But my nickname is Chemo. But only for my sister and everybody that knows my sister, all her friends, like growing up, everyone knew me as Chemo. So, and my sister's name is Cynthia. But I would always write on her like gifts that I would give her, or she saved into my phone as Sin. And like a billion years ago, I think when I was like 13 or something, me and my sister came up with this store that we wanted, and I would still love to have this store. It would be the best, like, I would just be so happy owning this store. But because we liked pajamas, I still really like pajamas, and I would have all these themed pajamas and stuff like that. So I was like, it would be so cool to have a store where we could sell every type of pajamas and holiday themed pajamas and robes and socks and slippers and like candles and body wash and blankets and stuff like that. And in this store, we would also have like family themed jammies and stuff like that, but it would be different sections, like kids, women, men, that kind of thing. But there would also be like these lounge chairs, like super comfy, like furniture and stuff in the store. And we came up with the name of the store, and the name of the store was Chemosin. So I don't own my dream store, but I do have a channel. And so when I decided that I do want to start a YouTube channel, I immediately knew that it was going to be Chemosin ASMR. So that's how I named the channel. Okay. What's your favorite movie? That's really hard because it depends. Like, are we talking comedy? Are we talking scary movie? Biopic? Like, You know what I mean? I I like anything that Bill Skarsgård's in, Tom Hardy, Leonardo DiCaprio. So like mm, I would say my most favorite like romantic would be Titanic, but I think it's The Notebook. My favorite scary movie, which sometimes I can't watch it, but it's Insidious. Scary. Um, Dramatic one would probably be Child 44. Comedy would be Ghost Town. So I don't really have like an all-time favorite. You know what I mean? It just depends on the genre. But I also like The Aviator and The Exonerated. I don't know. I really like movies, and if you know me, you know that. Um, okay, what's your favorite song? This changes every couple of years, but ever since like August, either late June or August, my favorite song is by Youngblood, and it's called Zombie. Oh my gosh. And the other day I heard it at Walmart when I was grocery shopping, and I was like, it was so amazing. Like, I was like, oh my god, my favorite song is on at Walmart, and it's a new song. Like, how could this be? You know? But yeah, I really like Youngblood, like a lot of his songs and stuff. Okay. I don't know. All right, this next one, it says, this may be too personal, but are you dating anyone? And if not yet, do you plan on dating soon? Okay. Who knows? I can be talking to someone right now. I'm just living my life day to day. Okay. If I am supposed to be with someone, I will be with them. Like, I don't want to put any effort, because I feel like if I'm supposed to be with someone, the universe will make it happen. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not actively like, I want to date someone. You know what I mean? Like, I'm more concerned about how do I feel today, my health, what's going on with my kids. Like, I'm just trying to get through every single day. You know what I mean? Like, so I have no plans, but what's meant to be will be, and the universe will just make it happen, because whatever is supposed to happen will just fall into place and be easy, right? So, next. Okay, this one says, did you ever eat your burger? So, and I know, if you don't know, I'm a vegetarian, but most of you know that I am a vegetarian. But there was a video that came out right at the beginning of the year. And it was like a this or that, or eat this, not that type of video, where I was looking through one of those books from like a billion years ago. And there was like these burgers in there. And I made a confession that I really want to bite into a burger. Okay, and I talked about it for like, I don't know, 10 minutes in that video. And I said that was like one of my goals to accomplish this year. Like, I don't have resolutions, but like, and like, another one that I had was, try and be more positive. And I feel like I'm doing that, but I don't know. Some days are easier or harder than the next. But I did have a burger. Okay. Because I just, every time I see somebody eating a burger, I'm like, I want to bite into a burger. Because like taste buds change all the time, and so every once in a while I will try meat to be like, maybe I like it, So I had a burger. I had also like a black bean burger, and it turns out I don't like either. Disgusting, disgusting. Which I'm shocked, because I thought I would have liked black bean burgers, because I really like black beans. I love black beans, you know, and I like the solid type of black bean, and then I like the refried black beans. Like, I love black beans. Maybe if I were to make my own black bean burger at home, I might like it better. I don't know. But I do not like burgers. I don't like burgers. I don't like black bean burgers. So yes, I did eat my burger that I wanted, and it did not go well. Okay, this says, weird question, but how do you prefer your eggs? I'm very picky. I'm very picky about eggs. And I'm on the fence, because when I think about an egg, I'm like, I ain't about that life. But if I don't overthink it, I'll eat eggs. But I prefer scrambled. I do like boiled eggs, but only if it is like in potato salad or egg salad, that kind of thing, and I have to make it. I won't eat deviled eggs from anyone else. I used to eat my mom's, but my mom doesn't make them anymore because they're like time consuming, you know. But I'll eat them in potato salad. But only my mom's potato salad. I do like scrambled, but they have to be like overly scrambled. I do not like. I've seen what's his name? What is that guy's name? Chef Ramsay. I've seen the way you're supposed to make scrambled eggs or whatever, and to me that looks so disgusting. Just some like wet slop. I'm like, no. My eggs have to be fully cooked and like overly cooked. No. I have had fried eggs, but I have to eat them one egg like on a sandwich. It has to be on a sandwich. I can't just be eating a fried egg, like no big deal. It has to be one egg between toast, and there has to be like American cheese, like the Kraft melty fake processed cheese, on both sides, so that I don't actually feel the egg. I don't know. I'm super picky about eggs. It's like very detailed, you know. Or I'll have migas. I love migas with the corn tortillas and stuff. Yum. But I am one of those people, which I know a lot of people are like, ew, gross. But I have to have ketchup on my eggs. Sometimes I have to have ketchup and salsa, and sometimes I have to have ketchup, salsa, and jelly. But it has to be grape jelly or jam, not jelly. I hate jelly. But because sometimes I just like regular eggs, and sometimes I like them to be a little salty with the ketchup, you know, and then I like them to be spicy. But sometimes I want them to be salty, spicy, and sweet all at the same time. So you need all those things, you know. But it's very rare that I will ever eat eggs without something being on them, you know, because just gross. Okay, if you could have lunch with two famous people, dead or alive, who would they be? That is also difficult. I have a bunch of people. I made a little list, and I can't choose. Like, I would like to have lunch with all of these people, and I picked people that were alive. Ricky Gervais. He's my favorite person, and I think he's funny without even trying. So that would be a very entertaining lunch. I also put Kristen Wiig because she's freaking hilarious. I want this lunch to be very entertaining and funny, And most of these people are just funny, just being themselves, like not even trying. Also, Bill Hader. I miss him. What is he doing? He needs to do more stuff. Pete Davidson, obviously. He is just entertaining. And I just found out that he has a new show. It's on Netflix, and it's a podcast. Netflix is going to start doing podcasts, and nobody had done it, and they asked Pete Davidson to do it. And he was like, sure, I'll be the guinea pig, So he's recording this podcast in his garage. They were like, do you want us to pay for a studio? And like, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, nah, I can just record it in my garage, right? And they're like, okay, well, do you want us to like, design it for you? And he's like, nah, it's okay. So he's just hanging out in his garage with his friends, basically. And it's on Netflix. It comes out once a week on Fridays. And yeah. Anyway, so obviously Pete Davidson has got to be at this lunch. And then Millie Bobby Brown. Like, I'm the biggest fan of hers. I feel like I'm gonna cough. Like, I just think she's the best, and she's so funny. Anytime that I see her in interviews and stuff, especially like on the Tonight Show, she's so funny. I just love her. So I can't just pick two people. But if I did, it would be within that group for sure. Okay. Have you started your new medication? And is your medication working? Yes, I have started my new medication. I started at the beginning of the year, and it takes 6 weeks for it to start working and getting in your system, and fully working. And that date that is exactly 6 weeks is February 19th. So let's hope that it does work. My other medication, what is it called? Is it Aubagio? I think it's Aubagio. I'm not as sick anymore. So I think my son was right, where it had to get in your system. It's fully in my system, so I'm not really nauseous all the time, which is good. But I don't notice any difference, and I think that's because typically MS medication, you don't notice difference. It like doesn't make things go away. It just slows your progression down, and I need that because I've had MS since I was 30, so I'm going on 12 years of MS, and I was only medicated for 2 of those years. So I have progressed quite rapidly, and now that I am on medication, I am hoping that it just stops. But I don't know if it's working. I don't know. Okay, the next question is, how's your pain control with MS? There's no pain control. I am in pain all the time. Because MS pain is different. You can't just be like, oh, let me take some Tylenol or Aleve or a Vicodin or none of that stuff works because it's neurological, and it's has to do with like nerves and stuff like that. So yeah, but mostly my pain is in my legs they burn like they are on literal fire all the time, and sometimes it's so uncomfortable that the only thing that I can do is be like, my legs, my legs, my legs. It's pretty bad. Some days are better than others, but I think that because the pain has slowly gone up, that my body becomes accustomed to it. So like one day, if like all my pain went away, I would be like, did I die? What's happening? Because it's pretty bad, like a lot of the time. But I mean, what can you do? You know, like I've been having quite a difficult time with some MS symptoms. I actually planned on recording this video last week, but I am recording it the day before it comes out, which you know I don't like. I like to pre-record, and there's a reason that I pre-record. It's because my symptoms are so unpredictable. Like last week, I was totally fine, and I hadn't had any like major flare-ups or anything like that, but I think I had a relapse last week because it was real bad. I remember it was my parents' anniversary, and all that morning I had walked the kids to the bus and everything like that, and I have my rollator to walk down to the bus stop because I can't walk with just my cane that far. I won't make it. But I noticed, I was like, something's weird, because my shoes kept coming off. And it's because I really could not feel at all. Like, I know I say that all the time, but I have some type of sensation, little that it is, but it was so bad that like it was really hard for me to walk, even with the rollator, you know. And then my shoes kept coming off because I could not feel at all. It was just completely like dead, and I was like really trying to balance and stuff, you know. And then I don't know if I recorded that day or not. I don't know. But it was really hard for me to walk around, and I just felt off, and I just kept telling my mom, like, my legs ain't about it today, Mom. Like, I was just not doing very well. And then that afternoon, my mom was like, hey, we're gonna go out to eat for our anniversary. Do you want to come with me? And I was like, nah, I don't want to do that, you know. I don't want to interrupt your anniversary, you know. But she was like, no, it's fine, just come on. So we went to lunch, and I was having a real hard time walking around at the restaurant place, and then as I was eating, I was like, whoa, because I was having I don't know if it's like sensory overload or whatever, but I can't be around certain lights because it will it's a very weird sensation, but it makes my body on the inside, on the outside it looked totally fine, but my body, it makes it pulse, and then I start to go blind and stuff like that, and I could tell that was happening in the restaurant, and so I kept closing my eyes and like just covering, like I just can't. And then once they were done eating or whatever, we left, and I could barely make it out of the restaurant. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh. But I got to the car, and I all of a sudden started feeling very nauseous, and I was like, no, because I knew what this was. Every once in a while, I will have this nausea fit where I get so very sick and nauseous that I can't even sit up. I have to lay down. I can't do anything. I can't think, like nothing, because I will get physically, violently sick. and there's nothing that I can do about it, and it usually takes me out for a couple days, sometimes it's real bad and it takes me out for longer. And so when we got home, I immediately sick, and I was like, oh no, because I was doing so well. It hadn't happened in quite some time, like before Thanksgiving, I think. And it was so bad. It was so bad. I can't have any lights on in here. I just laid in bed. And I was just out of it. And then the next day, I could barely get out of bed. I was trying to do the kids' lunch, and I couldn't. I couldn't do anything. I fell over on this bench in the kitchen, and I couldn't breathe, and it was just I couldn't do anything. And so my mom, she made the kids lunch that day, and she took them to the bus stop and everything, and I just, it's like my body shuts down completely to where my brain can't even function. I can't talk, I can't do anything other than exist. It's almost like a coma state. It's really, really bad. And last week it was so bad. My mom was like, do we need to go to the hospital? It's never been this bad before, and I was just like, it has, you just haven't seen it, but she was worried, and I can understand because it was really bad. But then after a few days, I was able to recover, and my brain function came back, and I was like a normal person. But I think I had a relapse because it was just, whoa, all the symptoms all happening at once, and it was just, so I want to say, yay, I'm getting better, but because of what happened last week, I don't know. Okay, next question is, what's the status of work on your new home? It's going. Things are happening. I think my dad is completely done with the plumbing, which is great. Now, I guess work on the flooring is going to be done. And I bought the ceiling fans, I bought new shower fixtures, kitchen sinks, I bought a new toilet, everything new, so that stuff has to be installed. But pretty soon, me and my mom, we cleaned the whole thing out except for all the stuff that I have there, which is kind of a storage right now, but I think the next step would be painting, and I'm scared to do it just because of my legs, but I'm excited to do it because I really like painting. So there is progress. It's slow, but there's progress, so that's good. Sorry, I had a grape skin caught in my teeth and I couldn't get it out. Okay, any neighborhood gossip? Okay, so I don't really know what to say about neighborhood gossip because the neighborhood that my parents live in, it's the neighbors are so far away. Because most people have an acre or more of property, so it's you're not really affected by the neighbors. This neighbor over here is my aunt. That neighbor over there is my cousin, but I guess I can kind of give you some stuff about the neighborhood. So, but it's really it's nothing. There was this, I don't know what you would call it, but like there was this random crazy guy. I only saw him once, but it was like right when school had started. My aunt found out that I was going to the end of the street for the bus stop, and she was like, "Did you just go down there by yourself?" And I'm like, "Well, I mean, I'm there with the kids, And she's like, "You can't do that." And she told me about this crazy guy, and she has like this really bad feeling about this guy because there was this. They think that he's like this homeless guy who lives in the woods somewhere down there, but she's like he's crazy. I don't remember how he's crazy, but she says he's crazy and he gives her bad vibes and stuff like that. But I was like, I've never seen anybody, and she's like, you will. And I actually did come across him one day when me and my son were walking from the bus stop back home in an afternoon, and as soon as I saw him, I knew immediately this is who my aunt is talking about. But I don't like to judge people, I'm just so we're walking opposite ways, and I'm talking to David about his day, and then we go past, and the guy kind of looks at me, and he does look kind of crazy, but I try not to judge people just by the way that they look, because I know this is crazy, but because of my brother-in-law, he's passed on, but he knew that he looked insane and crazy, because he was like, if you were to walk past my brother-in-law and not know him, you'd be like, this man is about to murder me. He's going to follow me home and probably kill me and save my skin and do something with it. Like, he was the nicest guy. He was weird, but you didn't need to be scared of him, So ever since my brother-in-law, I've always just been like, you can't really judge, because they could look crazy. Like my ex-husband, most people are terrified of him in real life, because they don't know his personality, and they're like, this guy's probably gonna kill someone. So anyway, so crazy guy was walking past, and he like stopped where me and David were, and I was just like, hi, and he was like, hi, how are you? And I'm like, we're good. And we just keep walking, and he like kind of like turned towards me, and he was like, are you? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, are you good? I'm like, yeah, we're good. And we just keep walking, but he's just like staring at me, and I'm like, that's weird. Like it was just a weird interaction, but it didn't give me like, I'm scared of this guy. It was just like, yeah, I'm good. Like, quit asking me the same question. I don't know. But ever since then, I have not seen him, and I talked to my aunt about it like a few weeks ago, and she was like, I haven't seen him either. So she's like, he's either in a mental institution, because he really does have problems, or he's in jail. So she's like, I've been enjoying this time without him, but she was so worried about me that she actually came by one day and brought me some mace, and she showed me how to use it. So I have protection now, I guess. And then I don't know what to say. So there are these people who live across the street, but they don't actually live across the street. And I met this woman probably like the second or third day of school. Because she kept driving down the street and just doing circles or whatever. And then once she like stopped, And she's like, I'm not trying to scare you. And I'm like, okay. I didn't think you were. But she was like, I go around the neighborhood and I look for stray dogs and I give them treats. So that's why I keep doing circles and stuff. She's like, I'm not trying to freak you out or I'm, weird. I was like, oh, okay, no, that's fine. I get it. And I told my mom about her and I was like, she seems nice. And she's like, no, she's not. Like, what? My parents and apparently everyone else in the neighborhood, they don't like these people. I've never had any bad interactions with them, but they don't actually live there. They bought this property like years ago and they go hang out during the day at this property, but then they leave at night and go somewhere else. So I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. But anyway, but my mom told me this story, how they met or something. I don't know. I don't think she's actually met her. But my dad has. He knows everyone in this neighborhood because it's quite a small neighborhood. And my dad, he would go on walks or drives or whatever, and he talks to everyone. Everyone knows my dad. And my dad does not like them. And that's saying something because my dad likes everyone. But I'm probably getting this story totally wrong. But one time, like last summer or the summer before or something like that, they had to call an ambulance or something because the guy was driving around on a tractor. And she was like trying to get his attention or something. And he couldn't hear her because of the loud noise of the tractor. So she's all trying to follow him on this tractor. And I don't know if he gets caught on something or what. Or if he's reversing, I don't know. Somehow he's not looking and he runs his wife over with a tractor. Like, what? Anyway, so they had to call an ambulance and stuff and whatever. But that's pretty much all that I know about them. And then one day I was outside taking Ava potty, and all of a sudden the dogs went crazy. We don't have dogs like that, but my aunt does, my cousin does, people down the street do. There's a lot of dogs in this neighborhood, and the dogs down the street, they were going insane, and I'm like, what is going on? And Ava can't focus if other dogs are barking, so it was just like, what's going on? And then just randomly there's a horse going down the street, and I'm like, oh, okay, this explains the dog barking. But I'm like, where'd this horse come from? Because the lady on the corner, she has horses. This wasn't her horse. It was just some random horse walking down the street. And I'm like, okay. What? But like, that's literally it. Like, I don't have neighborhood gossip because there's nothing to gossip about, which is good, I think. All right, would love an update on you and the kids. How are you all doing? And then the next question says, how are Emma and David adjusting to the divorce and 2 separate houses? So I'm doing fine. I no longer have stress. Okay, at first it was like I was trying to get through it, but it was hard. But now it's just like meh, like I said from the very beginning I wanted to have a friendly divorce, and it was at first, and then there was a portion of time that it was not. There was a bunch of crazy things, which I'm not gonna get into, but I still tried to make it nice. That's just because that's who I am. I don't know. But there was a 2-month period, like October, November. It was real hard. Not just on me, on the kids, and that made it harder on me, you know. But then we made it through. Everybody's fine now. Everybody's fine. And I got, the divorce was final on December 16th. At least I think it's 16th. I don't know. But we are officially divorced. And so now it's not like a friendly divorce because the divorce is over. But we are friends, which is what I wanted from the very beginning. You know, it just took a while to get there. But, like, I think that the ex-husband, Daniel, he is a fun friend when he wants to be, but he was a terrible husband, and he knows that. But we are much better as friends, you know. I don't know how other people feel about that, about me being friends with him, but it works for us, and I'd rather be friends and happy being friends than not, you know. Why make things harder? Why stress out about stuff? Just life's easier because we're friends, you know. And the kids like it. They like having the separate houses and that we are separated. I think it's because they see that, at least for me, I don't have that stress, and I'm much happier now. Because that was hard on them to see the darkness. Let's just say that. But I think that they like the two houses because they get a break from me, they get a break from this house, and they have, I don't want to say they have more freedom because they are free to do whatever they want here, but there are 0 rules at Dad's house. I don't like that, but it's only for 2 days, so, you know, but everybody's doing just fine. It was an adjustment, but we're adjusted. What are the future goals for the channel? I don't know. I'm just trying to get through every day, you know, like, as long as you want to watch me, I'll make videos, you know what I mean? But I'll, even if you don't watch me, I'll probably still make videos because I really like it. And this channel has been almost kind of like a personal therapy for me before the divorce, during, after, all that stuff, you know. It was just someone to talk to, you know. So how tall am I? I'm not tall. I'm very, very short. I'm 5'2", very short. Although I'm not 5'2", I've actually shrunk. Oh my gosh, I am 5'1" to 5'1" in like 1/4 or something. I don't know. I'm shrinking though. Yikes. Okay, it says, I know you like to read, so what books have you read that have changed your life? Okay, So I actually got some of the books that have changed my life, but the authors that have changed my life are anything by Dolores Cannon, Michael Newton, and Brian Weiss. Weiss, is that how you say his name? Anyway, I have some of the books here. So this one is probably my favorite book that was ever written. It's by Dolores Cannon, and it is called Conversations with a Spirit Between Death and Life. This is newly updated and revised edition. I love this book. I've read it, I don't even know how many times. I don't even know. That's like, I've read it a lot. This is like, I've studied this book, okay? The next book is A Walk in the Physical, Understanding the Human Experience Within the Larger Spiritual Context. And this is by Christian Sundberg. This is a very good book, especially, you know that I'm not religious. I am more spiritual. But if you are religious, this book is good because it explains things biblically, I guess. I don't know. And spiritually. And it's just, I love this book. You can actually read it for free on Google. It's there's a lot of things, so I recommend getting the actual physical book. And then this one, it reminds me of the Between Death and Life by Dolores Cannon, but this is by Michael Newton, and it is Journey of Souls, Case Studies of Lives Between Lives. I love it. And then there is one book, I just finished it. This is something that I saw on TikTok, and I was like, what is this book? So I went to Amazon and I got it. But this is by Nada Amari, I don't know. The World Is As You Are, A User's Guide to Reality. I really like this book. Like, I went through it and I highlighted like everything. I just think that it's super good. It says you do not need to struggle against life. You only need to understand how it works. It's a really good book. I recommend it a lot. I've read it twice. Yeah. Anyway, so those are, books that have changed my life. And that was the last question. I did not finish all the grapes, and they are strangely still frozen. Probably because they're massive. Anyway, yeah, this video's been quite long. I told my mom it was going to be longer because I usually don't make videos this long. But anyway, so here's to another 5 years, I guess. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.